Morning, everybody. The aftermath of Murph. It is Tuesday, May 26th. If you're here watching this, you didn't die yesterday, and we're back for more today. Luckily for you, today is designed as more of an active recovery day, but of course, Daniel's idea of active recovery usually has a little bit of butt kicking in it as well. So for today, we're going to get the juices flowing and everything broken up, moving around from yesterday's beating. And today's workout is just called Aftermath Recovery. It is a 20-minute EMOM. We are going to have 4 different stations or 4 separate minutes of work in this 20-minute EMOM. So that means we will go through it 5 times. And you're going to kind of have your choice on how you want to approach this today with your cardio option at the very beginning, and then your ground to overhead option at the end. It's going to kind of be player's choice today based on what equipment you have or just what you feel like doing. So the 20-minute EMOM goes as follows. Minute number 1, you have the cardio option to do either a 100-meter run or a 200-meter row for the guys, a 175-meter row for the ladies. That's up to you on what you would like to do today. That's minute 1. In the remaining time in that minute, you finish early. We're just resting until the top of the next minute. Minute number 2, 20 bodyweight lunges. Easy enough as it sounds. Minute number 3, or station 3, is either 60 double unders or 100 single unders. Again, just depends on what type of athlete you are and your proficiency with the jump rope. That's your choice. And then finally, we're going to finish with 10 ground to overhead. Your choice here again. We can either go with a plate ground to overhead where you just hinge forward, touch the top of a plate to the floor, just in between your legs, and you'll go through the exact same motion as you would just snatching a barbell up overhead. You're just going to do that with a plate. So you'll hinge forward, snatch into a locked out position with a hand on either end of the plate, and then you take it right back down to the floor. Again, only one edge of the plate needs to touch the floor there. If you don't have a plate or you want to go another route of doing dumbbell clean and jerks, that's also an option. So once again, heads of the dumbbell, one head of each dumbbell will touch the ground in front of you, clean, jerk, right back down to the floor. We do the same thing. If you're using 2 dumbbells for that today and just going full range of motion of touching to the floor and all the way up, I'd recommend going a little bit lighter. Kind of similar weights to what we recommended yesterday, like a 35-25 for performance and open, 25-15 for fitness. I would say let's stick with that today. It's going to be a lot of up and down, and especially if you're beat up from yesterday, I'd hate to see you get to the end of this thing and try to keep clean and jerking 50s, 35s, 70s if you have them at home. So that's the way I would ask that we approach things today. Just sweat, move around from yesterday. Don't hurt yourself. But a little bit better moving things around today and suffering through it a little bit than just sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing. Because if you do that after Murph, the day after Murph, chances are you're going to end up feeling a lot worse than you would if you did do this with us today. So that's what we have for your workout today. 20-minute EMOM, quick and easy. We'll get out, we'll sweat, and go from there. So warm-up's going to start here at the end of this clip. Time for your warm-up. First thing we are going to do is just a 5-minute jog, wherever that is for you. A treadmill, around your neighborhood, around your block, whatever. 5-minute jog. No intensity, just jog. 5 minutes, go. When you come back from your run, we are going to go directly into 5 inchworms. No push-ups. You did 200 of those yesterday, so we don't need to do it again today. But 5 inchworms, where you're standing, walking your hands out to the top of a push-up position or the top of a plank. When you're in that position, you walk all the way out. I want you to push yourself into a pike position where we can stretch out your calves a little bit. So on these 5 inchworms, you're going to walk yourself out, pedal your feet back and forth to stretch out your calves in a pike position for a couple seconds, and then you're going to walk your hands all the way back into your feet and stand. I want 5 of those with some calf stretches sprinkled in. Go ahead and hit those real quick. And then the last part of your warm-up, before we stretch just a little bit before we get things going, is going to be 3 rounds. And it's just going to introduce a lot of the movements that you're going to do in the MetCon here today. 3 quick rounds, not a lot of volume. We're going to start with either 20 doubles or 20 single unders, 10 bodyweight lunges, and then we're going to finish with your choice of ground to overhead today, and I want 5 of them. So quick 3 rounds, 20 dubs or 20 singles, 10 bodyweight lunges, and then 5 ground to overhead. 3 rounds, go hit it, go. First stretch, just static, is going to be bootstraps or bootstrap stretch. So first thing I'm going to ask you to do is sit down in a deep sumo squat. You're going to put you're going to put your hands on the bottoms of your feet, and then slowly you're going to raise those hips up to basically where we're just bent over, touching your toes, okay? When you're in that position, I want you to hang out for about a second or two and stretch out those hamstrings, and then we're slowly going to sink those hips back down into the bottom of a squat, bootstrap stretch. I know you guys have probably done them in class with us plenty of times before. I want 5 of those from top to bottom. And then once you're done that last one, I want you to sit in the bottom of a squat, and let's wake up your ankles a little bit. I want you to take the body weight of just the weight of your chest, and I want you to drive it in the bottom of that squat. Drive it out over your knee on the right side to start, driving that knee over your toe while still keeping your heel in contact with the floor. Should feel a big stretch into your ankles, your Achilles. Should feel really nice after everything that you did yesterday and prep us for all the jumping that we're going to do today. So I want you to spend maybe about 20-30 seconds on each leg, waking up those ankles right after you're done those bootstraps. Go ahead. Next stretch is just going to be a standing hamstring stretch. You're going to stand just with your feet right underneath of you. You're going to take a little step forward with your right leg, point your toes up towards the sky, heel on the ground, and you're just going to reach down, try to grab the back of your shoe. So a big hamstring stretch just standing on the right side. I want you to hang out in that stretch for about 10 seconds, and then we'll switch doing the same thing on the left. Then we're going to go back for another 10, and then another 10 on the other side. So we'll go twice here on this stretch, a total of 10 seconds each time on each leg. Once we are done there, we're going to do the exact same thing, but only quad pulls on each side. So a 10-second quad pull on the right, 10 on the left, 10 on the right, 10 on the left. Go. Last stretch I want you to do is just into your upper body, especially after all that pushing yesterday. Chest is probably feeling very, very sore today, and if you did pull-ups yesterday, lats as well. We are going to have to get into a locked-out position up overhead today, so I do want to make sure that everything up in here is nice and loose. So I want you to take the next couple of minutes just to do some chest opener stretches and some lat stretches, whether that's just putting your hand up against a wall and leaning in, even like a front rack stretch if you feel that really deepens the stretch into your lat, that's fine. But I want you to take a couple minutes here before we start breaking out weights and jump ropes, other equipment and whatnot, just to stretch out your chest, your shoulders, your lats. Go for it. After the upper body is stretched out and ready to go, it's time to hit the MetCon. Aftermath recovery. It's a 20-minute EMOM. Again, we'll go through the options here. First minute or first station is cardio of some sort. That can either be a 100-meter run or a 200-meter run or row for the guys, 175-meter row for the ladies. That's your choice. Second station is 20 bodyweight lunges. Third, 60 double unders or 100 single unders. Your choice there. And then the last station, the fourth station, is 10 ground to overhead. That can either be done 10 ground to overhead with just one single plate, just like we're snatching that plate, or it can be done with a dumbbell in each hand, clean and jerks, where one head of the dumbbell hits the floor every rep, you clean to the front rack, you jerk up overhead. We got 10 reps there. So play that how you want, but again, just remember it's an EMOM style workout. So whatever time you have left in that minute that you are working, we are just resting until the next top of the minute and then going through again. There is no rest built into this workout, no rest station other than what you bank for yourself in that working minute. So enjoy it. Just get the blood flowing after yesterday. And sweat a little bit. Come on back. We'll do a little cool down, or I'll give you some instructions on what I want you to do. And we'll need to break out like some sort of hard ball, like a lacrosse ball if you have it, a baseball, golf ball, whatever. We're going to need to break one of those out for the cool down once we're done. But enjoy the MetCon. Cool down. Aftermath recovery. That wasn't so bad. A little easier than yesterday. But what we're going to do for your cool down here, we're going to spend 1 minute in a saddle position. So basically sitting back on your heels, down on the ground. You're going to lay all the way back if you can, or if you need to use your hands behind you to support yourself, that's fine. But essentially we're looking for just a big quad stretch into your hip flexors, and even might loosen up your lower back as well. So we're going to spend 1 minute in a saddle stretch. From there, you're slowly going to stand yourself up. You're going to stand yourself up with your feet underneath of you, and then you're going to walk your feet out as far as you can, almost into a split if you can. And then let that head, that chest just fall down in. That entire upper body just fall down in. It's called a standing straddle stretch. Legs are going to be wide, and we're just going to let our upper body fall for a minute. Big stretch again into your lower back, your hips, your groin, hamstrings, a little bit of everything. Then the last thing we're going to do after that minute saddle stretch, that minute standing straddle stretch, I want you to have either a golf ball, lacrosse ball, baseball, some type of hard ball to where we're going to roll out. Take your shoes off. We're going to spend some time you're going to spend some time just rolling out the bottom of your feet from all the running that we did yesterday, squatting, the jumping today. This is a part of your body that we don't stretch enough or give enough TLC to enough, and I want you to take the time to do it today. So with that hard ball, either standing or sitting down, either way is fine. I want you to spend maybe about 30 seconds or so just rolling that ball or rolling the bottom of your foot on the top of that ball, just on all different points of the bottom of your foot for about 30 seconds on the right, then 30 seconds on the left. And then to finish, I want you to do it one more time through. So we'll spend maybe about a total of a minute on one foot, a minute on the other. The bottom of your feet will thank you, especially if you don't give them enough attention. And after the past couple of days of running, jumping, they will certainly thank you. So that's what we have for your cool down. And that is the end of the day on Tuesday, May 26th. See you later this week.